guys, before I start this video, make sure you vote in the upper right corner for which car you think is going to win this race. Also, come on, check us out on Instagram. You get lots of sneak peeks about future videos. Thanks. This is a 1970 Pontiac GTO. And by 1970, the GTO was starting to get just a little bit crazy. It was like that kid that we all knew in elementary school, you know, the one that'd whip his ding-dong out and shake it at people. And I have to say that I've grown up a lot since then, but this car is crazy because it doesn't have just that run-of-the-mill base model 400 cubic inch engine. This one has a 455. And by chance, would you guys like to know the specs of that 455 cubic inch engine? Alright, you twisted my arm, I'm gonna tell you. 360 horsepower at 4,600 RPM and 500 pound-feet of torque at 3,100 RPM, all with a compression ratio of 10.25 to 1. Interestingly, when that engine was placed in the Grand Prix, Pontiac rated it at 370 horsepower. So it seems like Pontiac was trying to trick us all. Well, it didn't work, Pontiac. There were a couple transmissions available in the 1970 Pontiac GTO. The 3-speed manual was still the standard transmission, or you could upgrade to a 4-speed manual, or like this one, you could get the 3-speed automatic. And like every other high-performance GM of the day, that automatic transmission is a turbo 400, so it will withstand all of the abuse that 455 can put out. And what do you guys think about the interior of this car? It is absolutely gorgeous, just like the exterior. And did you notice the optional Formula steering wheel? Oh, yeah. Most GTOs in 1970 had a 10-bolt rear, but if you optioned for that 455, you automatically got upgraded to a 12-bolt. And the 70 GTO had a lot of rear gear ratios available, anywhere from a 307 all the way to a 433, and this car has 355 gears, so that should pair up really well with that torquey engine. Weight isn't exactly a strong suit for the 1970 GTO. This one with driver is coming in at 3,996 pounds. They made just over 40,000 GTOs in 1970, but if you break that down into hardtop models equipped with the 455 and the automatic transmission, well, that's only 1,986 cars produced, and that makes this one pretty darn rare. And awesome! Car Life magazine tested one of these GTOs in April of 1970, and just like ours, it was equipped with a 355 rear. They ran the quarter mile in 14.8 seconds at 95.94 miles per hour. And I don't know about you guys, but that seems just a little bit slow to me. So I also discovered that in 1996, Muscle Car Review also took a 1970 GTO with a 455 that was 100% stock, and they ran the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds at 103.5 miles per hour. And I want to jump back to that Car Life magazine article because they actually checked the gas mileage of a 70 GTO with a 455, and it got around 11 miles per gallon. But that's really not that bad considering that the Ram Air 4 equipped cars were only getting around 9 miles a gallon. I do have to mention one super cool option that you could get on the 1970 GTO, and that's what Pontiac called the Humbler, which was essentially a vacuum-operated exhaust cutout. You had a lever below the dash. When you pull the lever, it'd activate the vacuum, which then opened the exhaust cutout. And today, that's super common. A lot of cars have that. But in 1970, I don't know anybody else that was offering them. You that are interested, the vacuum-operated exhaust was a very rare option in 1970. Only 233 cars had it. But enough talk about this 1970 GTO. Let's check out its opponent. This is a 1968 Chevrolet Chevelle Super Sport 396. And 1968 was a great year for the Chevelle. You had a few different engine options available in the Super Sport cars. To start, the base model was the L35 with 325 horsepower. You could upgrade to the L34 with 350 horsepower, or you could be like this car and get the L78 with 375 horsepower at 5,600 RPM and 415 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. And to get that power rating, the L78 was equipped with a Holley 780 CFM carburetor, a Winters aluminum intake, solid lifter cam, and rectangular port cylinder heads, all together with a compression ratio of 11 to 1. So yeah, that is one great American muscle car package.
You gotta admit, this is one fantastically handsome bulge, huh?
A 3-speed manual was still the standard transmission in these cars, and it was a heavy-duty M13, Or, like this one, you could upgrade to a 4-speed manual. And just like that GTO, the interior of this Chevelle is absolutely gorgeous. In the non-super sport cars, you could still get 256 rear gears in a Chevelle, but since this one's a super sport, you get a 12-bolt rear and 410 gears, and that should get that 396 screaming pretty quick. By 1968, the Chevelle was starting to get a little heavy. This car with driver is coming in at 3,916 pounds. And sure, it has the weight advantage over the GTO, but it's only an 80-pound difference. The Chevelle was always known for being a great value. The Super Sport started out at $2,899, the L78 was another $237, and the 4-speed added another $184.35. So at its cheapest, you could get into this car for $3,320.35, which adjusting for inflation would be about $24,681 today. These cars are somewhat rare, but not terribly hard to find. In 1968, they made 4,751 L78 equipped Chevelles. Popular High Rodding tested one of these cars in 1968, and it ran the quarter mile in 13.6 seconds at 105 miles per hour, so we should have a pretty good match on our hands. Let's see what they can do on the drag strip.
The left lane is a 2-inch change up, pure cyclist car drag race. Notice those wheel covers, that's pretty cool. He did not succumb to temptation with the usual mags. Eric Marr, Saginaw, Michigan, he's got 375.
And the Chevelle wins the first round running a 13.37 at 105.85 miles per hour, but the GTO was close behind running a 13.51 at 101.13 miles per hour. Let's see what happens in round 2.
And Eric Marr, 1968 Chevelle.
Oh, by the
Very
way,
good
I've
car.
got 2 rooms on the max.
Very, very
If
good
you
car.
want to book another room just to be safe, you may.
I kind of have a soft, I'm not a Chevy guy, but I have a soft spot for 68s.
One for
They have these like nice tail lights, very clean, even with the
2
trim.
rooms with 2
Most
beds.
people prefer the 69 to see if I prefer the 68.
That's what I'm saying. But what if you want to?
The GTO had some traction issues, so the Chevelle takes this one as well, running a 13.36 at 104.63 miles per hour, and the GTO ran a 13.93 at 101.15 miles per hour. So the Chevelle wins the best of 3, but let's see if that GTO can redeem itself in the final round.
1968 Chevelle Super Sport in the left lane, 1970 Pontiac GTO in the right lane. GTO was facelifted in 1970, given a very heavy facelift, looked lower, sleeker than the 68, 69. I go back and forth, I don't know which I prefer, 68, 69 or 70.
And the GTO crosses the finish line first, running a 13.52 at 101.47 miles per hour, but he did red light, so technically the win goes to the Chevelle, who coasted through the final part of the track to a 14.63 at 85.22 miles per hour. Thanks for checking out this drag race, you guys, and I'll see you at the next one.